My name is Megan and this is Jenny. Our other group members who will be helping us with this lesson plan are Caitlin and Kelly. And today we will be showing you how to make a quick and easy blackberry cobbler.
A cobbler is an easy dessert that is perfect for family gatherings such as Thanksgiving or a barbecue. While we didn't come up with this recipe, we thought this would be the simplest one to teach and make. There are other fruits you may use for a cobbler, which will be mentioned at the end of this video. Typically, it would be better to use fresh fruit, but for the purpose of this video and the time of the year, we will be using frozen blackberries.
And the key to this recipe is to make sure you remember the number 1. It takes 1 stick of butter, 1 cup of flour, 1 cup of sugar, 1 cup of milk, and 1.5 cups of blackberries. Before you begin, we want to make sure that you are aware of any food allergies that your guests may have. And by the end of this video, you should be able to make a tasty blackberry cobbler that you can share with all your friends and family.
I'll show you how to make a blackberry cobbler. It's a very simple and easy dessert to make. To do this, you're going to need 1 cup of flour, 1 cup of sugar, 1 cup of milk, 1 stick of butter, and 1.5 cups of blackberries. Now what you're going to do with this then is you're going to combine your first 3 ingredients, so the flour, the sugar, and the milk, into a large bowl. You're going to mix it together and it won't be smooth when you mix it, but just make sure all the ingredients are evenly combined. You're also at the same time going to be melting the butter in the pan while you preheat the oven, and then you're going to combine the butter, the mixture, and your fruit into the pan and bake it at 350 degrees for 45 minutes. For the materials you will need to bake the cobbler, you'll need a large mixing bowl, and 13 by 9 casserole dish, a measuring cup, a spatula to mix your ingredients with, and a knife to cut the butter. Rising flour, you'll need to make sure that it's self-rising flour instead of all-purpose, because if it's all-purpose flour, your cobbler mixture will not have the right consistency and it won't rise correctly, and you'll be left with mush, essentially. Granulated sugar, it's important just to use regular sugar, nothing fancy. You just need the regular kind. And then you also need milk. In this video we're using 2% milk, but it doesn't necessarily have to be 2%. It can be whatever kind of milk you like, be it whole milk or skim. And then 1 stick of butter. And you don't have to, again, use all natural butter. You can use margarine if you have that around instead. And blackberries. So, because it's not blackberry season, we don't have fresh blackberries. Frozen blackberries work just the same. It's fine to use.
So one of the most important things before you start cooking is to wash your hands, because if you're cooking for other people, then that's something that should be really important.
Preheat the oven to 350 degrees and set it on bake. While the oven is preheating, we're going to go ahead and melt the butter as well. To do this, we're going to cut up the butter into smaller pieces so that way it melts faster, and then place it into the casserole dish. You're going to take the casserole dish and put it in the oven. Be careful when putting the dish in the oven because the oven is preheating, so it will be hot and you don't want to burn yourself. You're going to let the butter and melt in the casserole dish while you mix up the rest of your ingredients. Start combining the ingredients to get the dough mixture ready. So we're going to start off by adding 1 cup of flour to the bowl. And when we do this, we're going to put the measuring cup in the bowl, or you can hold it over the bowl. It's just easier to do it this way, so that way if some spills out, you're not making a mess, and the overflow can just be added into your mixture. We're going to add the 1 cup of sugar into the bowl, and again we're going to do it the way we did the flour by holding the measuring cup over the bowl, so if some spills, it's not really a big deal. cup of milk to the mixture as well. We're going to mix all three of those ingredients together. When you're mixing, it's important to keep in mind that this mixture will not be smooth like a cake batter would. It's going to be a bit more clumpy, so the flour will be in clumps, but they will be smaller chunks. Pull the excess mixture off the sides when you're mixing to get the most out of your batter. And now that it's done being mixed, you can see that it is clumpy, it's not smooth, and this is how it should look. We're going to take our casserole dish out of the oven. By this time, the butter should have been melted. Just be careful when you are taking this dish out of the oven because your casserole dish will be hot and your melted butter will be bubbling, so you could burn yourself if you're not careful when doing this. We're going to take the dish out and place it on the stove top so that way we can combine the rest of our ingredients together. Add our flour, sugar, and milk mixture to the casserole dish. Be careful when you're pouring this in because you are dealing with hot melted butter that still might be bubbling, so it could pop up and burn you. And remember that the casserole dish is hot, so try not to touch it. Make sure that you spread it evenly throughout and try and get all of the mixture in there as that's possible. So we're going to measure out 1.5 cups of blackberries. In this case, we're going to be doing it in 1 cup increments. Then we're going to add the blackberries to the cobbler mixture, spreading them out towards the middle of the cobbler and then outwards. And we're just eyeballing the second half cup of blackberries. Add more blackberries to the cobbler you can. In this case, we don't feel like there's enough, and we really like blackberries, so we're going to add the rest of the bag to the casserole dish. Put our completed cobbler into the oven to bake. Be very careful when you're doing this because the oven is heated to 350 degrees and your casserole dish is still hot. So you need to use your oven mitts when putting the casserole dish in the oven. And we're going to let the cobbler bake for 45 minutes or until it's golden brown, and then it will be done. After it's been 45 minutes or you've checked your cobbler and it is golden brown, you can then take it out of the oven. Again, remember that it is a very hot oven and use your pot holders so you don't burn yourself. Pretty obvious, but once the cobbler is out, make sure that you turn your oven off so that way your oven still runs smoothly. Cobbler, we're going to cut a piece now just to show you how it goes. Be careful when cutting it unless you've given it time to cool because your casserole dish will still be hot, so you might want to use a pot holder or something to grip it with. Cobblers are also really good when served with ice cream as well if you choose to do that. And here's what your cut cobbler will look like. For your reference, here's the recipe for the cobbler. We hope that you're able to make it after seeing this video, and we hope that you enjoy it. If you like this cobbler and want to try to do others, you can use this recipe to make other kinds of fruit cobblers. Just substitute the blackberries with another fruit. Other popular types of fruit cobblers would be peach, strawberry, and blueberry, just for your reference. We hope that you really enjoyed this video and that you learned a lot. Thank you for watching.